Hey guys, we're going to be talking about some of the biggest and yet the weirdest music out there today with their new album, MGMT and Little Dark Age. MGMT is a indie synth pop band, or duo, that is made out of Andrew Van Wingarden and Ben Goldwasser. And about a decade ago, they had some of the biggest songs of the decade with Time to Feel, Electric Feel, and of course the iconic Kids. Believe it or not, it's actually been 5 years since their big release with their self-titled album, MGMT. Little Dark Age mainly centers around depression and the decisions that you could do with it, and with some puzzling, odd lyrics that would make a group of strangers listen to this quite awkward. 4 singles were released, starting with the song Little Dark Age, before soon after coming When You Die. Then leading into 2018 was their 3rd single, Handed Over, before the last single that actually came out only 2 days before the actual album, Me and Michael. The album kicks off with the new track, She Works Out Too Much. 3 of the singles then follow before the technology-centered song, T.S. Lamp. 4 more tracks then swing through the back end of the album before the final song, which is the 3rd single, Handed Over. MGMT is one of those artists that I understand why people like the music, but I can also understand why people wouldn't, as it's such an acquired taste, especially with all these bizarre, weird or abnormalities that appear in their music. She Works Out Too Much is in the upper half of the album for me. It sounds, instrumentally, it sounds like a pretty much a pop song or an indie pop song, but vocally it sounds very hypnotic in the 80s. For some reason, I just can't help but think of those videos in like 3rd grade where it was a aerobics video that had all the kids doing aerobics, and it was like some video from the 80s. Little Dark Age of the song is actually, as of right now, my favorite on the album, with its kind of heavy synths that kind of sweep through the entire song, and the echoey lyrics that go along with it. Also with the hook, it's an easy earworm that really gets you glued to the song. When You Die is a very psychedelic song, and what really, at first I had that thought initially, but after seeing the music video, which you should too, it definitely plays into that vibe. Light Plucking is a majority of the song with some seemingly happy vocals, but if you look at the lyrics, it's actually anything but. You die, and words won't do anything. It's permanently night, and I won't feel anything. We'll all be laughing when you die. Me and Michael is definitely the most 80s track on the album, and you can instantly hear it just in the beginning intro chime. This song seemed a lot more bland to me than the rest of the album. They still used a lot of their tricks that they use all over the place that make certain parts very interesting, but the overall use of the instruments kind of seems bland and flat in comparison. T.S. Lamp, or the longer version, Time Spent Looking at My Phone, is about the impact of the cell phone. The instrumental is very memorable, with it constantly switching from one beat to another and then back, so it's very all over the place and wild. However, the song doesn't really stand out that much, with it not being that memorable, and if you're not in the right mood, seems a little bit messy. When You're Small is actually another great song from the album, but the lyrics on it almost make me feel uncomfortable as a listener. Here's some more for you. When you're small, you don't have very far to fall. When you're small, you feel like you belong. When you're small, you can curl into a ball. This paired with the instrumental and the kind of weird vocalization that goes along with it really kind of gives it this eerie vibe that made me kind of feel like uneasy. I, for the most part, like the album, but the weird occurrences and tendencies that a lot of other artists have in their song, this album is actually completely built on those. And so it kind of, if you're not really tuned into this, or like I am not sometimes really tuned into this kind of music, it can seem kind of bizarre and unfriendly almost. On first impression, I wasn't actually planning on giving this a positive review, but after a few listens in, I kind of started to really hear, and it's really one of those albums that grows on you the more it listens to. In a few months, actually, along with this and a few other albums I've reviewed or may review in the future, if my opinion does change drastically enough, I will probably make some kind of updated video of old albums that I've reviewed. But nevertheless, Little Dark Age, in the end, I would like to give a 6 for the moment. So let me know what you guys thought of the video and the album down in the comments below, and also let me know what you'd like to see me review next. Bye bye.